The Japanese city of Sanjo is a long way from Brookline, Massachusetts. But the two distant cities now share a connection with one of the bloodiest events of World War II. The Battle of Iwo Jima cost almost 7,000 American lives. 21,000 Japanese were killed. One of those Japanese was a 36-year-old soldier named Matsuji Takegawa.
My father was strong and cheerful. That's all I remember. Because times were so hard then, I don't remember playing with him much.
Chia Takegawa, who is now 73, is Matsuji's oldest daughter. Over 6 decades ago, she drew this picture for her father when he went off for war.
It's drill practice for an air raid. The hat was designed to protect us during an air raid. The buckets of water were passed from person to person to put out fires.
Matsuji kept the drawing along with a photograph of his other 3-month-old daughter Yoko in his chest pocket. He was killed in February 1945 in the brutal fight to take Iwo Jima. And that could have been the end of the story, except for this man.
My name is Franklin W. Hobbs III, and I live in Brookline, Massachusetts. I am now 85 years old, and I seem to be holding up pretty well. I didn't even know I was going to Iwo, and all of a sudden they just said, we're taking off, we're going on an invasion, but they didn't tell us where. And all of a sudden we're with all these boats, and they're pounding at this little island, and then after about 3 or 4 days of it, they said, you're going ashore. As they took over the island, we were supposed to put in the wiring that they'd have between the different headquarters. So there were people in the water, dead, lying there. I'd never seen such a thing before. And when I was going ashore, I did a very stupid thing. I had a gun over my shoulder. I let it fall off, and it went in the water. And I tried to claim I shouldn't go because I didn't have a gun. And they said, well, just pick one up. There'll be lots of them lying there on the beach.
Frank Hobbs landed on Iwo Jima. He says that he and a friend dug a hole and stayed there for 2 days. When they climbed out, the dead were everywhere.
I saw this one kid, blonde hair, just a handsome guy lying there dead. And I thought to myself, God, what a perfect-looking guy. This is outrageous that he had to die. And nothing much I could do about it, but I realized how I just hated the whole idea of the thing, because it seemed to me it was terrible that you had to die over this tiny little island.
Mr. Hobbs began his job setting up communications on the small island.
So I was driving up, and on the left there was some people working with a bunch of Japanese that were obviously not alive. They were lying there on the ground, and they were going through and looking at their papers and things. And I just happened by chance at the very end to see a letter sticking out of the top of a jacket of one of the Japanese people. So I went over and I grabbed it. I glanced at it and I thought, I saw the picture of the little girl. I don't actually know to this day why I happened to even do it, other than all my friends said they were gathering swords and all these things. And I thought, well, I might as well take something home. And I said, this looks interesting, I like it. Put it in my barracks bag and finally got it home.
The dead Japanese soldier was Matsuji Takegawa.
And when I got home, my wife at that time, I guess after a few months, she got it framed, double framed, so you could see on one side the picture of the kid, and then also the envelope itself, and then on the other side, the picture of all the children with their buckets getting ready to try to put out fires. And it hung in the room of one of my sons for a long time.
But I know exactly what the picture looks like because we all grew up with it. And in fact, I think for most of the time I just assumed it was a drawing my mother had made when she was in kindergarten or something.
The drawing and the photo hung on the wall for 64 years, until last March, when Mr. Hobbs' second wife, Marge, suggested that they find the family to whom the letter belonged.
When I saw that it was framed and had the address on it, I thought there was a possibility.
A Japanese friend at their church helped them, using Japanese characters on the letter.
And out of the blue, they found out where the family had lived, and they'd moved, and they found the daughter. That was the one that did the drawing. They found her.
3 people came to me and asked me if the letter was mine. I said yes. I was so surprised that my father had cherished the letter so much. I think he kept it with him to feel like his family was close.
Mr. Hobbs found Chie in Sanjo, Japan. Little did he know that her sister, the baby pictured in the photograph, lived just a short drive away from him in Fort Lee, New Jersey.
You know, my life is so changed since I found out my father kept my 3 years old picture and my sister's drawn picture.
Yoko Takagawa never knew her father. She was born after her father left for the war. She moved to the United States as a missionary in 1973. When she and her daughter, Keiichi, learned about the letter, she drove to Brookline, Massachusetts to meet Mr. Hobbs.
Yoko came on one morning. She suddenly arrived, and I didn't know. I gave her a big hug, and then she said that's how much it meant to her or something. It hit me quite hard, as a matter of fact. I thought, this is really amazing that we found her, and now she's going to have the picture. I got tears in my eyes because I suddenly realized what she'd gone through. You know, no father, very early, and not knowing really what happened to him.
For Yoko, the discovery of the letter has awakened deep feelings for a man whose face she knew only from a few family photos.
Right now, I miss my father so much. I'm talking with my father sometimes. Would you like sashimi? Would you like peach? Thank you so much for your protection. Before I did not say at all because I did not know his existence so much. But now I feel very much close to him. And this means I very much appreciate Hobbs.
I'm so happy they have it. The family has it, and it sort of closes the book for them in a little bit. I don't know why I feel that, but I do. I think it's sort of, if I got it, then my father had been killed, and suddenly, many, many years later, I get his final letter, the final letter that went to him, and he had it on him when he's dying, right next to his heart, or right in his pocket. I think I'd remember that.